Good morning, dear children. I hope you all must have gone through the audio lesson of the poem Wind, written by Subramanya Bharati. Well, children, today we are going to discuss the poem not in brief but in detail. Children, before I start with the poem Wind, let me tell you about a short introduction of this poem. Nature in all its manifestations was a source of inspiration for Subramanya Bharati. He saw wind and rain as forces of nature that were designed to destroy the old and evil things in man's mind and create joy and liberty within him. In the poem Wind, Subramanya Bharati has very beautifully expressed his ideas about both the damaging and nurturing aspects of wind. Wind often mocks the weak but glorifies the strong. In the poem, wind is symbolic of the difficulties and hardships that we face in life. If we display strength and endurance, we can overcome these difficulties. But if we are weak and frail, we may succumb to them. Children, a very similar poem we had done before. That is The Road Not Taken. Children, if you remember, the poem Road Not Taken was also a symbolic poem. The poem symbolizes choices of life. Here, wind symbolizes difficulties and hardships that we face in life. Now, coming on to the poem. Now, children, the very first paragraph. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the pages of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Children, poking fun here means making fun of something. And weaklings, again, a person who is meek, who is weak. So, in this paragraph, children, the poet is talking to the wind. He asks the wind to come softly. So, he is saying that the wind should not be very strong or loud. It should be soft and subtle. Then he says that the wind is very powerful. It is destructive. It breaks the shutters of windows and scatters the papers. When the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf fall down. So here the poet is describing the power of wind, the might of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. Whenever there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak, like small plants, small children, etc., they all get scared. And they can even fall and get hurt. We can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as a young child. He is saying that it should come softly just like a small child does. In the later part, we come to know that the wind is destructive just like a youth. Just like a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy, violence and destruction. Now children, as you can see that few words I have highlighted. Children, you need to know that like if I read the second line, don't break the shutters of the window, don't scatter the papers, don't throw down the books on the shelf. So there is a repetition of don't in the very first, it is the very first word in the line. So if any word is repeated in that manner, it is a figure of speech known as anaphora. Similarly, you will also find the same where I have highlighted, you tore the pages of the books, you brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. So children, you has been repeated in 3 lines. Similarly, it is also considered as anaphora. Now children, when I talk about you tore the pages of the books, who is you? So children, here you is referred to the wind. So here it takes Another figure of speech, that is personification. Now coming down to the next paragraph. Frail crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. Children, here crumbling means falling or to cause something to break. Rafter, sloping beam which support the roof of the building. So children, here the word crumbling is repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. So the writer is saying that when wind is very powerful, it is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are weak fall, doors which are weak fall, the beams on which the roof of the buildings are supported, they also fall. So he's saying that everything crumbles. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity or challenge in life, he breaks down and falls. Now children, the word crumbling has been repeated. Thus, we can derive or we can come to a conclusion that the figure of speech used here is repetition. The wind god winnows all and crushes them all. He won't do what you tell him. So come, let's build strong homes. Let's join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this and the wind will be friends with us. Children, here steadfast means firm, determined. The poet wants us to make friends with the wind. That is the adversities in our lives. We need to take the adversities. He says that the problems will not listen to us. They will come, so we should be prepared. Instead of getting rid of problems, we should face them bravely. In preparation, we should build strong homes and close the doors of our house firmly, so that the wind cannot get in. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. And then once we are strong enough, all the challenges will be like friends. We will not feel that they are troublesome anymore. Now children, as you can see there, the highlighted in red, the wind god winnows. Children, the word or the alphabet W, wind winnows. So here it is alliteration. Now moving on to the next paragraph. The wind blows out weak fire. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Children, flourish here means grow. The poet has kept the wind on a pedestal. He is comparing the wind to God. He says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. He adds that everything that is weak gets finished off in the face of the strong wind. And all the things that are strong flourish and grow to become stronger. Here, children, he is giving us a very important message that we should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and adversities in life. As the present scenario, we can all, take from our example from our life that a lot of adversities and challenges have come up. But if we are strong enough, we will overcome the challenges. We will become friends with them and then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life because they help us become stronger and better. Now children, coming down to the most important part every poem has. As you can see, the very important thing here mentioned, setting of the poem. Children, every poem has a setting. So when we read this poem, Wind, written by Subramanya Bharati, the setting of the poem is in the poet's room during a storm. Now children, if I talk about the tone of the poem, you see that after reading every paragraph, you will find that there is a variation in the tone of the poem. In the beginning, he addresses the wind in a pleading tone and entreats it not to cause destruction. So in the beginning, the writer, the poet is actually trying to plead. The poet is pleading. Again, then it changes to accusatory. That is accusatory as he accuses the wind for creating a mess in his room. So children, everywhere or in every stanza, you will find that there is a variation. So as he continues to address the wind, the poet's tone changes to an accusatory one. Here he tries to remonstrate with the wind as he shows it the mess it has created in his room. So here the writer or the poet has shown the tone of accusation. Looking at the destruction caused by the wind, then the tone of the writer, of the poet, changes to somber, as he finds everyone and everything meek and weak in front of the wind. Lastly, children, the poet follows a cautionary tone for us, as he counsels us, his readers, to make themselves strong both physically and mentally. Now, children, as this poem is symbolic by nature, so the poet inspires us to face the wind, which symbolizes the hardships. Adversities deter the weak. Children, S-T-E-R, there is a correction, you make it or read it as deter, T-E-T-E-R. Adversities deter the weak-hearted, but make stronger to those who have unfaltering will. Now children, every poem also has a rhyme scheme. Now when you read this poem, you will find that the poem has been constructed in a free verse, as the writer has not followed any sort of rhyme scheme. Thus, we can conclude it by stating that the rhyme scheme followed by the poet is free verse. Children, go through this video properly. Try to understand. In the next lesson, I shall upload the NCERT and extra questions of the poem Wind by Subramani Bharati. Have a good day, children. Thank you.